What's up, family? Top of the morning to everybody, especially to all my ex-convict that made it home from CDC. I hope that you guys support me, show some love, subscribe and share me. I'm making a new move now. I'm changing my tactic now. I'm not fucking around with Hmong people anymore. Because Hmong people, too many hating ass motherfuckers. They ain't got no love and support. All they do is sit around hate you. If you don't look like them, they hate you. You don't talk like them, they hate you. If you doing good, they hate you. You doing bad, they even hate you more. So Hmong people is nothing but, majority of them is just nothing but hating motherfucker. Piece of shit, coward too. They only horror when they about 100 of them motherfucker. So I'm done with Hmong people. But I still love those who love me, okay? Those who hate me, no more. You ain't gonna learn shit from me no more. Anyway, the topic of today. Who is the hardest Asian gang? How I came about this question was last night by a brother of mine hit me up and say, Ray, what you doing? I said, I'm out here hustling. Putting my, getting some hour in. Hauling my fuel. So he said, you got a couple of minutes? I said, yeah, So we chop it up. Conversations hella cool. Real shit. So we came upon this question, say, hey, Ray, he asked me, Ray, you a Filipino cat named Body Young? I said, is it the YouTube guy? He said, yeah. He asked me, do I watch his show? Now and then, I watch, nearly all the prison shows. Especially cats that made it out of prison. And now they got their own little YouTube show. They want to review this past experience to the world. That's good. And at the same time, make a little money. All money is good money. Now, I'm talking about legal money. Everybody trying to make some money off YouTube. So he said, Body Young, bro, they asked him a question. They asked Body Young, said, who is the hardest Asian gang? And Body Young was unable to answer that question. I don't mean to hold your name, Body Young, but Body Young. I want to take that question and define that question for all you brother or whoever that brother is that asked Body Young. Who is the hardest Asian gang? Now, when you ask a question like this, there's a lot of categories. There's a lot of categories. You can't define one category as hard. Because, a street gangbanger is different from the cat or high-class mafia gangster. So how are you going to define hard in just one category? Are you talking about who's the hardest Asian gang in prison? Or who's the hardest Asian gang on the streets? Or you talking about overall? Because we're going to define this into a few categories. There's levels of gangster, gangbanger. There's those who bunch of gang bang in the hood, bunch of hoodlum, stealing and robbing, don't give a fuck about their life. Or you talking about gangster that out there, pushing business, promoting business, doing everything, legalizing, monopolizing, extortion. When you're talking about who's the hardest Asian gang by defining that as, or they who's the deepest, 3,000 soldier. Would that define hard? Or who is the most structured, organized gang? Would that define hard? Or who got the most money? Would that define hard? Or who is the craziest fucking gang that ain't taking no bullshit from nobody, quick to smoke somebody? Would that define hard? You see, you can't just categorize just one category. You got to look at all aspects, all levels and categories of gangster or gangbanger. You see, I distinguish, you ain't got to be in a gang to be a gangster. That's how my definition is. I'm going to say it again. You ain't got to belong to any organization to be a gangster. You can have it in your heart to be a gangster. Down for you, it ain't taking no shit. You could be a solo, you could be 5 motherfucker. You could be 5 motherfucker, 5 deep, and control the whole streets. You see that? So how are you going to define hard? In the prison system, you can't define hard as a whole. You got to define hard as an individual. Because in the prison system, we all have the same money. In the prison system, we all come from a different background, different streets, hood, neighborhood, gang. We all converge and compose into one unit as a whole. But when you speak as who's the hardest on that category, you got to divide now to be individual. Is that motherfucker hard? Or is it the whole car hard? Because you can have 5 hard motherfucker running 30 motherfucker, 40 motherfucker. But without that 5 cats anymore, the whole card is poop but weak as fuck. Because while them 5 soldiers still holding on to that car right there, it makes the whole car strong. You see that? So like I said, you define hard by what? Which gang is more intelligent? Which gang got more money? Which gang got more soldier? Which gang have killed more people? So that question by itself is very hard to define which Asian gang is the hardest one. Which we already know that the Japanese mafia was the Yakuza, something like that. They ain't playing around. They got money, they got soldier, they organized, and they ain't playing. When it's time to, chop up a finger, that's what they do. And back in the days when, when them tongues, they was crazy. Tongue wasn't deep, but they was ruthless. The Wall Chain was deep. They was ruthless too. But now, see, the Wall Chain, now, the younger generation, nowadays, the Wall Chain has absorbed the thug culture. You know what I'm saying? They not organized as a mafia type of gangster. They organized the type as a gangbanger now. So like I said, you can't, by asking a question, say who's the hardest Asian gang. That's why I would define that and separate into categories. See, let me tell you who the hardest Asian gang is. Is one who don't give a fuck. You talking about as horror mean don't give a fuck. Horror mean down for the shit. willing to commit murder, wreak havoc across that right there is individually. It's at the time of the mindset. It's how you feel at the time. If somebody have done you wrong, then you have become horror. You put on a tiger with teeth and you're going around doing your, expressing, releasing your vengeance upon your foe. Now you hard. See, the weakest motherfucker, the weakest Asian gang could become the hardest Asian gang overnight. The hardest Asian gang could become the weakest motherfucker overnight. It all depends on the move, the tactic on that time. You see, a mafia type of gang, go ahead or a thug street gang. If I, if I run the street thug gang and, the mafia did me wrong, we're going to smash on his whole block. Because I'm pissed off. I'm willing to go to war. When you're willing to go to war, that's what happened. So, at the moment of time when people piss off and they go to war, they hard. But the truth is, majority of Asian gang like Hmong, Laos, Cambodia, Filipino, men, etc. Beside Vietnamese and Chinese and Japanese. Most of us, like I said, Hmong, men, Cambodia, Laos, Filipino. I'm not saying all. Majority of us hood niggas from the streets banging a neighborhood. We do not have it more than like the Chinese and Vietnamese. Those who involve themselves in organizations, high organization, profit, business. When they go to prison, they have more money. Like always, if you got money, you got influence. I'm not lying about that. In prison, if you got money, you got influence. That's just the way it is. Money talk, bullshit walk. So anyway, hopefully I ease some of y'all brother pain on this topic, okay? Like I said, in prison system, when you ask who's the hardest Asian gang in here, that does not exist. Now, if you ask who you think is the hardest Asian person, see that? Even so on that, that's according to time. See, every motherfucker got his own time, his own peak. Back in my prime time, back in my peak, I was crazy as a motherfucker too. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't let a motherfucker fly land on me without getting slapped on. So during your time, you a hard motherfucker yourself. You a legend in your own time. Everybody's a legend in their own time. That's why real motherfuckers learn how to respect each other. Because if we go on a war for over prestige name, if we go on a war, you know what I'm saying? Let's say you want to fire me just because you want to take my title. That's the wrong way of thinking. For you to go to war with a person, that person must do you wrong. If you want to murder somebody, that person must do you wrong, made you wrong. You got to think about the consequences. By you killing this motherfucker, will that solve anything? Or is that going to bring heat to you? You see, many years ago, right? Many years ago, I met a cat. And you know what I'm saying? We talk about, his status. Talk about my status. And I told that brother, man, I said, look, man, even though you or me, we might think that we enemy, but we ain't. Because I ain't never did you wrong. And you ain't never done me wrong. Now, if you and me right now, if we was to go head up, it's a lose-lose situation. Because I got some soldier and you got soldier. Win or lose, it's going to be a lose situation for both of us. So the best thing is keep it mutual. You do your thug street life thing, I do mine. That's it. You see, don't ever try to take a man bars and stars, okay? That's what I learned through life. Don't ever try to humiliate a person. Because if you're trying to humiliate somebody, you don't know what that man is capable when he lost his face. He bound to kill you. He gonna do everything in his power to take you off the shelf. So if you OG, I'm OG. You's a gangster, I'm a gangster. We keep it lovely. Keep it mutual friendship. Support each other. Show love. If you got, you got business of helping me make money, look out for me. If I got business, to make money, I'll look out for you. Real motherfucker recognize real motherfuckers. Let's move up in this society together. We all been to the gutter. Those who serve hard time. Thank God we made out alive. We back home now. We start family. Show love and support. Don't never knock the next brother. Don't ever wish death upon somebody. But anyway, one love to everybody, Please support my channel. Share my channel. Tell me about your friend, about this Asian cat, He been to the shithole. Now he's coming out talking about his past. He's sharing his experience with everybody. I got a lot of more story to tell. But for me to do that, y'all must support and love me, For me to share more story, war story, prison story, street story, good or bad, right or wrong, sad story, happy story, good time, bad time. One love. I'll catch y'all in the next round.